You know, all those devices we use every single day, they're basically miracles of modern engineering. But here's the thing, they have a hidden life and a hidden death, with an environmental cost that we're only just now starting to really wrap our heads around. So let's get into it.
Just think about it for a sec. What's the one component that's hiding inside almost every single piece of electronics you own? It's kind of the invisible foundation of our entire digital world.
Yep, it's this thing. The printed circuit board, or PCB for short. You know it, it's that classic green board with all the tiny copper lines. It's like a miniature city that brings all our technology to life.
And I'm not kidding when I say they are literally inside everything. From the device you're watching this on right this second, to the massive systems that run our power grids and fly our planes.
So what exactly is a PCB? Well, the best way to think about it is like an electronic map. It's this flat board that has all these little pathways etched onto it, and those pathways guide electricity to all the different components, telling them exactly what to do. It's basically the central nervous system for any gadget.
On the outside, right, we just see this sleek, polished device, but this image really shows you what's going on inside. It is a crazy, complex world of microscopic parts, and the humble PCB is what makes it all work together. But all that incredible function comes at a cost.
And that cost is a pretty serious, hidden toxic problem. The very materials that make these boards so tough and reliable are also the exact same things that can make them an environmental nightmare once we're done with them.
Okay, so let's look at the ingredients list for the most common type of PCB, the FR4. It's made of woven glass fiber and this stuff called epoxy resin, which is a really tough kind of plastic. That combo makes it super resistant to heat, but it's also full of things like halogenated flame retardants. Those are added to stop it from catching fire, but they can also be pretty toxic.
And because these boards are so hard to break down, they're a huge part of our e-waste problem. And get this, e-waste is officially the fastest growing stream of garbage on the entire planet.
Now here is the number that really gets you. Less than 20%. That's how many used PCBs are actually collected for recycling. It's not cheap to do it. So where does the other 80+% go? Mostly into landfills, where those chemicals can just slowly seep into the ground.
Okay, so that's the problem, but the good news is there's a ton of work being done to fix it from a couple of really different angles. The first approach is a practical one for the tech we're already using. Let's call it the protective shield.
This shield has a technical name, conformal coating. It's basically this super thin layer of polymer that gets painted over the circuit board. Its whole job is to protect all those sensitive electronics from things like moisture, dust, or crazy temperatures. The idea is simple, make the device last a lot longer. And making electronics last longer, that is big, big business. The market for these coatings was already at $1.4 billion in 2023, and it's expected to hit $1.8 billion by 2028. A lot of that is driven by industries like automotive and aerospace, where, failure is just not an option. So how do they actually put this shield on? Well, there are a bunch of ways. You can do it by hand with a spray can for small jobs, or have robots do it on huge assembly lines. You can even just dip the whole board. The method really just depends on how many you're making and how much protection you need.
And here's a peek at what that high-tech version looks like. You've got this robotic arm spraying the coating with incredible precision, making sure to avoid any connectors or ports. It's a super fast and effective way to give our electronics a little suit of armor.
So the shield is great for making our current tech last longer. But what if we could just redesign the whole thing from the ground up? That brings us to the second and way more revolutionary solution. We'll call it the biodegradable seed. And this chart just shows you how different the thinking is here. It's a total shift. Instead of glass fibers and plastics that never break down, these new boards are made from natural stuff like flax or paper or even hemp. They're designed from day one to break down safely, which makes getting all the valuable metals off of them way, way easier. And hey, this isn't just a cool idea in a lab, it's real. A company in the UK called Jiva Materials has already created something called Soluboard. It's the world's first fully recyclable rigid PCB, and big companies are already starting to test it out. And how it works is, well, it's genius. The board is made from natural fibers held together by a special polymer that dissolves in water. So at the end of the device's life, you just dunk the board in hot water. The polymer disappears, all the valuable metal components fall off, and you're left with natural fibers you can compost. Simple as that.
This whole idea leads to a vision that is, well, it's pretty wild.
One source actually described the ultimate goal here as a paper circuit board that degrades into nutrient-rich mulch for agriculture. Just imagine that. Your old phone could literally help grow food.
This all points to a future where our electronics don't just become toxic junk. Instead, they could actually return to the Earth.
So, when you boil it all down, we've got these two paths moving forward at the same time. The shield, these protective coatings, that's the practical fix for today. It makes the billions of devices we already have last longer. And then you have the seed, the biodegradable boards. That's the game-changing solution for tomorrow, totally rethinking our tech for a sustainable future.
And that really just leaves us with this one final, incredible thought. For decades, we've built a digital world that, in many ways, has kind of disconnected us from nature. But what if the next great leap in technology is all about reconnecting? Creating devices that don't just serve us while they're alive, but actually nourish the planet after they're gone?